welcome one and all to a very festive top 10 today. I've known for weeks the dreaded Valentine's Day was coming, and I, like so many, spend the day being very bitter. It almost seems more common to be bitter on V-Day than to be romantically happy, and while so many channels are talking about romance films and on-screen couples and kisses and all the goo-goo stuff that makes many people want to shove pencils in their eyes, I thought I would give you a break from that and give all the bitter people out there something more fun. Today I'll be sharing my top 10 Valentine's Day horror movies. Now, let me make this clear. A few of the films on this list are terrible films. I'm not even sure I can recommend them in good faith. But today, I'm not here to judge these films on whether they are good or bad, and if that makes them deserving of this list. To get on this list, you just have to fit the criteria of Valentine's, romance, and horror wrapped into one. And being a small niche, that means having to give some attention to some crappy films, but who cares? Let's dive in and have some fun. At number 10 is 2009's My Bloody Valentine 3D. Directed by Patrick Lussieu with a screenplay by Todd Farmer and Zane Smith from a story by Stephen Miller, it's a remake of the 1981 film of the same name and focuses on the residents of a small town that is plagued by a serial killer in mining gear on Valentine's Day. This film changes a great deal from the original, which is nice. It wants to change it up. The problem is the changes actually makes the majority of the story very illogical. The original film, which I'll get into later on, had a great deal more connections to the Valentine holiday, making its title very appropriate. But in this version, aside from the film taking place on V-Day, if it wasn't announced, you actually would have no idea. The concept of putting hearts in heart-shaped chocolate boxes makes no sense in this film whatsoever because all connections to the holiday have been removed, so anything that they kept that had a reference purpose in the first film now has no place in this one, and makes those elements and the title itself feel out of place, which is why it is last on this list. But if you want an abundance of kills this holiday, definitely check it out. At number 9 is 1999's Lover's Lane. Directed by John Stephen Ward and written by Geoff Miller and Rory Veal, it is based on the urban legend of the Hook and follows a group of kids who are terrorized by an escaped mental patient in and around Lover's Lane. This film was actually the feature film debut of one Anna Faris, and I gotta say she holds her own. It's just a shame this film is terrible, even as an indie film. The writing is awful and cliche, the performances are dreadful, it follows every slasher formula there is, and it's a shame because it's working off such an iconic urban legend. It could have been something amazing. Where it goes wrong is not being able to decide what it wants the film to be. It's set on Valentine's Day and involves a lot of people doing things for love or rejection, but nothing makes sense. It's revealed there are 3 killers in this film, and the way the story devolves and the killers are revealed is just ghastly. This film felt more like watching a group project in an acting class as opposed to a film. Yet it's on this list because it is a slasher film that revolves around Valentine's Day, with V-Day signifying a lot of things for a lot of the characters, so good or bad, it fits the criteria for this list, and that's why it's on it. At number 8 is 1997's Cupid, directed by Doug Campbell and written by David Benullo. A brother and sister with a past incestuous relationship have a current murderous relationship. He murders the women who reject him and she murders the women who get too close to him. This is most definitely not even close to the world's best film. It's not even a good film, but if you want fucked up love stories that result in murder and mayhem, then Cupid might just be the way to go. If you're feeling bitter about the holiday, why not watch a film about murder and incest in the name of love? Go for broke, I say. But to this film's credit, the title isn't just a throwaway title. The film actually does make reference to the story of Cupid and Psyche of Roman mythology, and the Cupid character and his story is one our lead character Eric, played by Gremlin's very own Zach Galligan, is obsessed with. We have a man obsessed with love and his sister in love with a man she can never have. Murder seems like the inevitable path for these characters. At number 7 is 1981's Hospital Massacre, originally titled X-Ray. It's directed by Boaz Davidson with a screenplay by Mark Bem from a story by Davidson. In it, while receiving a routine checkup, a beautiful woman is stalked by a maniac out to avenge a childhood Valentine's Day humiliation. I'm not sure how any of this makes sense. Yes, I will wait 19 years to get revenge on some girl who laughed at my Valentine's Day card, but I will wait until she's having a medical checkup to do it, and instead of attacking her, I will attack and kill everyone else. Yep, makes total sense. This movie, in all honesty, was boring as fuck and has all the bad 80s qualities, including spending 15 minutes on showing us the woman's medical checkup and filming it in a perverted way. What is wrong with some people? But, nevertheless, this is a film with a story that revolves around Valentine's Day. Admittedly, it's a stretch, but if you're looking for killer movies and those scorned on this day for lovers, then it's for you. At number 6 is 1981's My Bloody Valentine, directed by George Mialka with a screenplay by John Beard from a story by Stephen Miller. The plot is about a group of young adults who decide to throw a Valentine's Day party only to incur the vengeful wrath of an assailant in mining gear who begins a killing spree. I really find the original to be a lot of fun with an abundance of fun kills splattered throughout the film, but most importantly, the entire story is relevant to the film's title. It's set in the town of Valentine Bluffs. The film's events take place around a Valentine's Day dance and an accident that occurs because people were off attending said dance instead of doing their jobs. Person left traumatized blames the dance for the events that occurred and vows vengeance, and so ensues bloody carnage and holiday-themed kills with hearts displayed in Valentine's chocolate boxes. It's both festive and leaves a message. This film was everything The Prowler wished to be but never was. The twist is indeed a stretch and actually pulls us away from the V-Day connection and makes the V-Day elements make little sense, but don't worry, a killer screaming the title of the film towards the end helps make up for it. It's not a perfect film, but it'll get the job done. At number 5 is 2001's Valentine, directed by Jamie Blanks and written by Gretchen J. Burge, Aaron Habberts, Donna Powers, and Wayne Powers. It's loosely based on the novel of the same name by Tom Savage. It follows a group of women in San Francisco who are stalked by a man whom they tormented during their childhood. I quite liked this film upon first release. Upon a second viewing all these years later, I wonder what the hell I was thinking. This film is actually kinda awful. I love the idea of a bullied kid getting revenge, but it's so elaborate and it doesn't quite add up. Also, it's impossible for blood to pour from a nose horizontally, so there's no way for it to come out of the mask. It makes no sense. It makes no sense for him to have gone to such effort to date one of the girls who tormented him just to kill the others, and it makes even less sense for him to wait 13 years to do it. On top of all that, the acting is kinda terrible as well. What I do like is the threatening Valentine's cards and the fact so many of the songs featured in this film appeared in season 3 of Charmed, being played at P3 by their respective bands. That being said, it does to a degree hold that early 2000s horror charm. It does feature a lot of actors I like, and more importantly, it is 100% on theme with this list. In fact, this film has a lot in common with Hospital Massacre in terms of story, and to the film's credit, the kills are quite entertaining. At number 4 is 2016's The Love Witch, written and directed by Anna Biller. It's about a modern-day witch who uses spells and magic to get men to fall in love with her with disastrous results. First, let me say, I do not hate this film. It is in no way, in my opinion, a terrible film. I think from a technical point, it is positively breathtaking. The lighting, compositions, the frames, the camera techniques, the hair, makeup, the costumes, the sets, hell, even the dialogue. It is all the ultimate trip to the 1960s cinema. It is so meticulously executed that if I didn't know it was made in 2016 and no one told me, I would never have guessed. I would have believed it was made 100% in the 60s. Anna Biller is a dedicated master of cinema. I mean, she wrote, directed, produced, and composed this thing. As they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself. However, I can't say I'm a fan of the story. There's nothing wrong with it, I just didn't remotely enjoy it, and that comes down to personal taste and not technical issues, but based on its themes and quality, it most definitely is deserving of a place on this list. At number 3 is 2020's Cupid, written and directed by Scott Jeffrey. After being horrendously embarrassed by the mean girls at school, Faye, a practicing witch, summons the evil Cupid to take revenge on all those who wronged her. I commend this film for taking such an interesting story and adapting it into a horror film. They took Roman mythology and the character of Cupid, son of Venus and Mars, and specifically the story of Cupid and his love Psyche, and made it the mythological story for this film, as opposed to using the commercial version of Cupid, the cute cherub with the bow and arrow, which people are more familiar with many not even knowing his ancient incarnation. Their story is quite genius and shows creativity to turn Cupid into an evil character they did change the story of Cupid and Psyche and gave it a tragic and dark ending instead of a happy one, but for the most part, up until that change, it was almost spot on with the ancient tale. I think for an indie film, this shows chops and initiative. I think the acting, given the project it was actually quite impressive, as I expected much worse. However, its biggest failure is focusing more on stupid school drama and bullies instead of this amazing and rich mythology they created that they could have gone even further with. In fact, the bully of this story gets more screen time and dialogue, and she's not even the lead character. Cupid's costume could have used a lot of work, and the ending is sadly anticlimactic. I'm not sure I'd watch it again personally, as the characters did make me want to hang myself, but I do love anything that is willing to try something new. At number 2 is 2019's Inhuman Kiss, also known as Krasu Inhuman Kiss and Sang Krasu. It's directed by Sirisiri Mangkol Siri with a screenplay by Chukyat Sakvirakul from a story by Mangkol Siri. Set in 1940s Thailand, a Krasu, a nocturnal female spirit, lives a normal life by day, but at night her detached head seeks out flesh and blood. Hey, had I seen Krasu Valentine, I'd probably included, but I'm going with this Thai romantic horror film instead. This film goes on a bit longer than it needs to, but it is a wonderfully crafted romantic horror film that, like virtually every film on this list, doesn't have a happy ending. The girl turns into a monster and the boy she loves her back despite her condition and is there by her side, but all along her other friend turns out has always loved her and has been protecting her this whole time and she never even noticed, and life, doing what life does, kicks him in the ball something fierce. I love that it's a period piece set in the 40s because for me it makes the supernatural elements work even better. I learned about the folklore of a Krasu while watching Drag Race Thailand, and so it was really fun to see a film that depicts this creature from Thai folklore and dives into its origins and even includes the male counterpart, because apparently if a female is around, a male isn't far behind. This story is actually a really cool tragic love story, and the film brings that to life in its own way, and to top it off, it has really good special effects. And at number 1 is 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola with a screenplay by James B. Hart, based on the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. It follows centuries-old vampire Count Dracula, who comes to England to seduce his barrister Jonathan Harker's fiancée, Mina Murray, and inflict havoc in the foreign land. This continues to be one of my favorite films of all time. When it declares itself a romantic horror film, it's not joking. Outstanding performance by Gary Oldman, amazing film work, and incredible story that frightens, captivates, and breaks the heart all at the same time. It is the most beautifully tragic romance story ever told, and it still moves me every time I see it. Not to mention one of the best scores to ever exist thanks to one of my favorite composers, Wojciech Kilar. A love story that transcends life and death. It has war, betrayal, loss, second chances, soulmates, death. It has everything. It's a gothic tale that takes you through the darker sides of love. How far would you go for it? And what would you do if you lost the ultimate love? If you're looking for something romantic and horrifying this Valentine's Day, look no further than Bram Stoker's Dracula. And that's my twisted top 10 Valentine's Day horror movie. So if you're feeling down or depressed about this holiday, if you're feeling lonely wherever you are, don't let this holiday make you feel down or bad about yourself. Instead, maybe sit down and watch one of these films about those who found themselves forever traumatized by the day and dedicating their life to murder and vengeance, and then reflect and realize if you've yet to turn to homicide, then you're doing alright. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That can be your Valentine's gift to me. Drop a comment if you have seen any of these films. Would love to hear from you. Thank you to my lovely patrons whose hearts must be bigger than their feet to support me the way they do. You guys are the best. I hope everyone is doing well and continues to do well. And if things are tough for you, then I hope things turn around soon. Take care, everyone, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.